This is a demo of how we can manage access control for AI agents in the financial operations of a fictional company called Meridian Corp. So in this company, employees will be able to use an AI agent to manage procurement and purchase orders. They can use the agent to create and approve orders and to finally process the payments to the vendors. In this demo, we have four people working in that company. Both Alice and Bob are procurement managers, each for their own department. Carol is a VP of finance who will have much higher access rights than the managers, and David is an accounts payable clerk. Each of these people will have different permissions, and those permissions will depend on more than just the role. We will take a deeper look into the exact policies later. Now, under the hood, every time the user sends a query that requires the AI agent to call the tool will check if this action is permitted with the Axiomatics Authorization Management Platform before taking that action. For processing the payments, there's a second layer of authorization, a separate payment processor that also calls the engine independently, and both these checks must result in a permit before the payment is processed. So let's start with Alice. She's a procurement manager for engineering with a $25,000 approval limit. If we look at the policy says that for procurement managers, they can approve orders, but only within their department and within their approval limit. And an order cannot be approved by the same person who created it. So let's put this to the test. We're going to ask the agent to create a purchase order and immediately approve it in one prompt. We can see that the agent created the purchase order successfully, but it was denied when it tried to approve it. This was expected as Alice cannot approve an order she just created. Now let's take this to the next level. Alice will now try to approve all the pending orders across the whole company. Let's take a look at what the agent did. First, it tried to list all the existing orders, which is a permitted operation for all the employees. And regarding the approvals, the first approval was denied because Alice was the one that created the order. Second was denied because of the different department. And the third was denied because the amount was higher than Alice's approval limit. Only the last approval was permitted. Now that we have some orders approved, let's look at processing those payments. We now switch to David, who is an accounts payable clerk. The policy says that he can process payments, but only to vendors with low risk classification. So let's try to process all the approved orders. As we saw before, the agent first lists all the existing orders and then tries to process the approved ones. The agent was able to process 2 out of the 3 orders. As you might expect, the denied one was to a high risk vendor and the permitted 2 were to low risk vendors. The last thing I want to show in this demo is the audit link. So every action and every decision we just saw is recorded here. Notice the source column, entries from the procurement app and the payment processor both call the same Axiomatics authorization management platform, and therefore both write to the same centralized audit log. Each entry shows who attempted which action to which resource under which context, along with the decision from the policy. This helps a lot with compliance to different regulations and is extremely simplified thanks to the existence of the centralized authorization platform by Axiomatics.